Who are your top three musical influences right off the dome?
Will I Am, because he's
Will.i.am.
not afraid to be different.
Right.
Dr. Dre, because he's consistent. And then I got to give it to Timberland, because Timberland always got something new too. These are innovators. These are people that bring stuff to the table and they take that chance. And I think that's what music is about.
I see in a lot of your videos, Who's Mike? I see a lot of hanging out with Digital Underground.
Man.
Money B and what's
One
up?
is like my best friend.
That's what's up.
You know, when I was doing a promotional tour for Drop Top in the Bay Area, back in the days, you know, the Bay Area had like 8 stations you can go to. Right. And then they had an underground video station that was the clarity was as good as BET and MTV. And I went on that show and a couple other shows, and I talked about my record and all that and the single. And then I also, you know, told people where I was going to be that night. Now, I'm not saying that Money B jumped up and ran to the club, like, because he was bigger than me. But we ended up being in the same spot one night, and it was a trip because my manager came over to me and said, Money B want to meet you, is that cool? Yeah. And I looked at him like, is that cool? That's Money B.
Yeah.
Is it cool if I meet him? And from there on, man, since 1993, we vibed. We called each other. He come out sometimes and stay at the house for a couple days or a week. Nobody knew he's in town. We would ride around and have fun and, you know, just socialize, man. And we've been friends ever since. And there's nothing that he wouldn't do for me, nothing I wouldn't do for him. So that's a natural relationship right there. That has nothing to do with music. Like, I don't even believe I'm on any of his records. And he's on my records, but I'm not on none of his. And it's not because I'm not good enough to be on his records. We just don't look at each other like that. You know what I mean? We just genuinely friends. And Shock G came in the picture, of course, because of Money. And because I was Money's family, I was family to Shock. And there's been times where they offered, like, y'all need to jump on the tour bus if Mix ain't going out or whatever. So, I mean, these are just really genuine relationships that I got with cats in the industry, you know, as I met on my trip, you know what I mean, my roller coaster.
When I was interviewing Sir Mix a lot a few years back, he mentioned a Seattle and Darkside 2 that was one of your projects. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
That's funny. It's comedy. I was bored, and I didn't want my name to go away, and because I didn't have the big education about how to release music properly and stuff like that, I was kind of like mimicking what I seen. So I met these cats, Mark Simmons and Jim Blade, at Pacific Studios downtown Tacoma, and I was like, yo, you know, what if I asked Mix or Ricardo if we could put out Seattle to Darkside, but part 2, and then we could put some out-of-towners on it and put some Tacoma and Seattle people on it, because people felt like I was in Seattle to Darkside, but there wasn't that many people, you know, from the inner city on the record that we wasn't messing with. And so that was a big politic thing in Seattle about Seattle to Darkside was, man, they didn't put, you know, Silver Shadow D on there, they didn't put Duracell, they didn't put all these other rappers that was, you know, that had their stuff together too. So I was like, man, I want to do it, you know, and put these people on there. And first of all, bad idea on the cover, because I thought it was a creative cover at the time, but I now look at it and I didn't dig it. And I did it, man, but what happened was one of the people that was the investor decided he wanted to be the play a bigger role than what we talked about. And I felt like he was watching my back, like almost like non-trustworthy, like calling people that I, you know, would already be talking to about something. And I just, you know, no disrespect, but we printed up like 3,000-4,000 of these records, and I just left them alone. After I put some in the stores, I just bagged off the project and walked away from it. You know what I mean? Which was a bad situation, because, you know, now I believe you put your foot in something, you finish it, whether it go bad or not, you just finish it so you can say you done your work and you did everything your word said you would do. So that's what happened with that project.
Well, as long as we're on the projects, why don't you tell me a little bit about the Split 50 project, The Girl Is Mine. One of my favorites, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I like The Girl Is Mine. I like The Girl. A lot of people like The Girl Is Mine, actually. It's
the only thing personal I got about that song is that when we did the Split 50 project, I knew it was gonna be a challenge for me because Strange, my partner on there, we all from the same camp. He produced a lot of Mac Daddy. He produced a lot of mixes, Mac Daddy. The song Cocaine, which was a dope beat back in the days. I'm Your New God. Rapper's Reputation. I mean, he's done a lot of records. So when I stepped into camp, I met Strange. And Strange was doing a record in Mix's house. And I was like, yo, this dude is dope. For a white dude, he's ridiculous. So, you know, when he had like a falling out with Mix, and I was having my little fallout with Mix, just like any other family member, you kind of like get together and you go, man, forget them, we're going to do a record ourselves. And he moved to L.A. When he moved to L.A., his beats got ridiculous. And I was like, man, flying down there doing records with him, record after record after record, just for my solo joint. And just to throw a little jab in there, Interscope got interested in me from a project that we did. And because of some politics, the deal fell through, but they were going to sign me. So we were like, man, we got something, man. And I was like, he was having problems, so he's like, I'm coming back home. I said, you come back home, we should just do a record. So we was like, what we going to call it? It was like, let's call it Split 50. What we going to call the record? Colored people. It'd be funny because you're black and I'm white and people were different colors. So, but people would look at it like colored people. What y'all talking about? So anyway, we start making these records. I love Michael Jackson. So I was like, let's do The Girl Is Mine. Let's talk about how you trying to get her and I'm trying to get her, and let's just, you know, do it like that. And that was crazy itself, right? Because we was like, girls are gonna love this song. It's gonna be off the rack. This is it. This is going down. And we got one problem was we have to clear the sample. So I'm like, oh man. And then we got the word by Hope Carr that clearing a Michael Jackson sample is like waiting a year or two.
Right, I'd imagine.
Because Michael likes to listen to it and make that decision. Right. So we were like, oh man, well, we had Whose Microphone for a backup. The song got submitted. Michael Jackson listened to the song immediately and said, yo, they can use it. Right? Not only did he say we can use it, but he said if this song blow up, he would like to possibly sing the hook.
Oh, wow. Big time.
So we was like, yo, we got one. And we start pushing it. Then this movie comes out. I forgot what the movie's called, but there was a parody in it, a comedy of a white dude with a black rapper trying to get on with this label. And they were almost like the joke of the movie. And then it was like Me and Strange. And then they did the song in the movie and it was The Girl Is Mine. So it was like, it's a rap. We're killing it. That's it. It was just too over the top. It would have made us look corny, cornballs. So we dropped the song. And we went with Whose Microphone and put Humpty on the remix, and that's what it is.
No more guest list. No more guest list. I can't, dog. I see you. I can't. Stop. Dog. Hey, what's up, Mike? Stop what you're doing. I can't. Stop what you're doing. You know you ain't got no ID, shorty. No, you can't come in. Hold on. Yo. That's all right. Hold on. I'm gonna get you.
Whose microphone is this? It's yours. Whose time to rock this shit? It's yours. Whose 22's on the 6? It's yours. Can I get a little bit? It's yours. Strange got levers, pushing every one of them. Fetish for microphones and letters. I dig, so cuticles never clean. Blade sheen like a 5-beam. Flock of birds always want a cop. I love y'all ladies, bouncing that shaker. I love y'all ladies, what you won't do. I love y'all ladies, a gift from the maker. I love y'all ladies, but why you so crazy? Hey, yo, when I'm in the club, I like to shake them down. Make them poke out their chest, turn their heads around. Nasty, I blew my back out a few times. The doc told me I knocked my spine out of line. Lil' near, like my man Money B, I'm quick to run deep. Make them wanna wet their sheets. You know the cold mom, can't stay the night. Lights out, get your clothes, yo, get the hell out my house. Whose microphone is this? It's yours. Whose time to rock this shit? It's yours. Whose 22's on the 6? It's yours. Can I get a little bit? It's yours. Whose microphone is this? It's yours. Whose time to rock this shit? It's yours. Whose 22's on the 6? It's yours. Can I get a little bit? She said she loved me long time. I said how long, she said the first time she heard me rhyme. Oh, now that's what I call a groupie chick for show. Quick pass to the number to the hotel door. Reloaded, cock back splits in your grill. Rum and coke's got my spokes on full tilt. Every girl gon' go to the after show, but not every girl gon' go home. I like my chick a little hard, fat farm fitted, love boots, and don't care if the ride is kidded. Ride out in glass house, hit switch and mash. Quick to get 'em up, but still give up the Ain't no party like a split 50 party, cause a split 50 party don't stop. Ain't no party like a split 50 party, cause a split 50 party don't stop.
I don't understand the way you think. The girl is yours, not mine. Sending roses and your silly rings is just to waste her time. The girl is mine, the girl is mine, she's mine, she's mine. Doggone girl is mine, you know she's mine.
She mine,
You know she's mine. Damn, baby, got a man?
I don't need a man.
Whose microphone is this?
It's yours.
Who's time to rock this shit?
It's yours.
Who's 22's on the 6?
It's yours.
Can I get a little bit?
It's yours.
Whose microphone is this?
It's yours.
Who's time to rock this shit?
It's yours.
Who's 22's on the 6?
It's yours.
Yeah, can I get a little bit? My nigga Nicks told me first go platinum, then cop the whip. And it ain't sporty if the front don't dip. 50 G's no less if you truly wanna style. 22, 23 to be the baller go fast. Get every chick on the block hot. Black on black, navigator clean, fresh off the lot. Cutthroat the card notes, cash out, mash out. Don't even take no time to think about the amount.
So maybe me and my friends can get what you and yours. And for me, baby, please bring a few more. Cause the last time I got the car to start, I burned 3 packs of rubbers and the Johnson Bunny broke down before I parted. Like, whoa, skinny boy got to go. We need the front and back. Cause the tapping ain't cool when you're hitting on the bone. So phone home and tell all your thick girls to come on.
Whose microphone is this?
It's yours.
Who's time to rock this shit?
It's yours.
Who's 22's on the 6?
It's yours.
Can I get a little bit?
It's yours.
Whose microphone is this?
It's yours.
Who's time to rock this shit?
It's yours.
Who's 22's on the 6?
It's yours.
Can I get a little bit?
It's yours. It's yours. It's yours.